Hey, you.
The CrossFit Open is here.
Open registration is live.
And you need to go sign up. It will be the best thing that you do in 2026.
Sign up for the 2026 CrossFit Open.
I definitely won't sign up this year using several fake profiles, but you probably should. Real ones.
And you should register now.
Because it's going to be the biggest party of the year.
Just trust me.
And I'll see you on the leaderboard.
Like I would, if I could, but I can't.
Harry f***ing light for ear.
That's better. I mean, better than a veteran and real more heavy.
Welcome. Hi, Fee.
Hello.
Fee, Shagafi, as my autocorrect called you last night.
That was terrible. I called you out so fast too.
It's like I instantly thought of Austin Powers. That's where my brain went.
What's the line in Austin? I've seen Austin Powers. It's been a minute.
Oh, like everything's shagadelic, and I was like,
Oh,
there we go.
I was gonna give you crap too because I'm like Canva auto corrected, but you're still the one that posted it. I was like, I'm gonna get it to him.
No, not only did Canva autocorrect it, so StreamYard autocorrected it. So the show title on YouTube was wrong, the thumbnail was wrong, and even though I was like tagging you and your name was showing up above it, I still didn't realize that, like, oh, these two words are spelled differently. So one of them must be wrong, and it's probably me, not the person whose actual typing name is.
I will say I've never seen the H move shifted over. It's always like someone forgets a letter, like someone forgets the H.
Yeah,
but it just like.
I think in the past, I think I have forgotten the H. So that the H.
Oh,
so then I was like,
it's a silent H.
So then I was like, okay, don't forget it, to the point that I put it in the wrong place. But yeah, look, we fixed it. So
love it.
It's
now
all
we're
good.
here.
How are you?
I'm good. I just got back actually from a 12-day trip out in Utah. I went to go to visit actually a couple things. I went to visit one of my sponsors, Redmond Relay. I'm sure I have their little mug. And also blender bottles out there. I went to go visit and Dallin is also out there. He actually lives there. I went to go see everyone. And then Matt, our coach, actually came out for the week to be with us, do a little training session. I was out there with Alexis Raptis, like all just a bunch of best friends hanging out, doing some fun things with some amazing sponsors. So it was such a good.
Was that needed then? Because obviously you said last week that your season is different this year because of injury and stuff. Do you think was that just like fortuitous timing, that it was like, oh, I get to be around people that like give me energy and stuff, or was it more difficult because you're like, cool, so you guys all excited for your season? Like, you're not.
No, honestly, the timing worked out so well. It was going to happen regardless, just because it's always hard to during the start of a season to make a travel that far and that long. Season hasn't started just yet, and I mean, for me, I still have some time, but yeah, it just ended up like being a coincidence. But we all represent Relay, and so it ended up just being a date that worked really well for everybody. And then we figured, we're like, well, you know what, if I'm going to travel all this way, I might as well turn it into, a training week, a full experience, try to get coach out there. And then kind of last minute turned it into a visit to Blender Bottle, which I also represent. So we ended up and honestly, that things like that just fill my heart. I get to be around my best friends during a time where I'm not feeling super amazing on the competition end of things. So it was needed.
So I was at World Fitness Project in Copenhagen, and there was, was it the second event? I think, or maybe it was the second event on the second day, but you came out and like just left, and I was like,
oh yeah,
like something's obviously wrong. And you were more tape than person, like your whole like upper
I
back,
know it was like the only thing that was truly like holding the shoulder together. So pretty much like I showed up to WFP already having dealt with this or dealing with a shoulder injury for a long time coming. I was kind of like just trying to play that game of like how much can I do, how far can I go, how much can I still compete with a really bad shoulder at the time. Um, and yeah, we made the decision to like still make Denmark happen because we knew that showing up and still performing events that I could do would still give me a chance to like potentially get a pro card, which it's awesome. Like I truly love the I truly like had the best experiences at WFP, and the fact that it gives athletes opportunities, another competitive stage to compete on, opportunities to represent ourselves and our sponsors, earn money. Like it was just something that no question I still wanted to do. But unfortunately I showed up not at 100%. So
What is the issue with the shoulder? Like, is it rotator cuff or what is it?
yeah, so it's a couple things. Well, so we ended up getting some MRI. So I ended up like injuring my shoulder back in October, kind of similar if you watched Pat Vellner miss a snatch behind his back, and you kind of like, you kind of move your arms, shoulders
Forward,
backwards.
yeah.
And I actually did that exact same thing in training, funny enough. And so anyways, I was snatching. It was just like a super routine miss. And I just felt like a small stretch in my shoulder, nothing out of the ordinary. And then just as weeks went by, I ended up competing at Beetle Extravaganza, a small competition in Puerto Rico. I kept training. Then eventually things got really bad. And I ended up practicing the parallel handstand push-up, toes-to-bar deadlift event that WFP came out with. I did the whole 5 rounds as a tester. And by the end, I realized that I really injured my shoulder. Like it was towards the end where I'm like, something terrible just happened within the last 10 minutes. And it ended up being a rotator cuff tear. We got imaging after WFP. So rotator cuff tear, but specifically also a slap tear.
What's slap tear?
A slap tear, yeah, it stands for superior labrum anterior to posterior tear. So it's trauma to pretty much the labrum, which is the ring cartilage along the shoulder socket, and that got torn, and there's just damage there. And pretty much what I feel is you feel a lot of sharp kind of knife pain. So what was interesting though was I was able to do so many things. What really hurts is like any kind of rotation is just super grindy and painful, and then pressing is very, very kind of excruciating.
So handstand push-ups.
Handstand push-ups, ring muscle-ups, stabilizing overhead is also painful when you get heavy enough. That's why I went out and I literally just power snatched up to 115, and I didn't squat snatch anything. So all kinds of pressing. So like that weekend, like even burpees were painful. So we kind of had to play the game of like, okay, what side do I devil's press versus what side do I overhead squat versus what side do I do the burpee? Like, yeah. So there was a thruster ring muscle up workout that I just couldn't do. I just could not. I did uprise ring muscle ups, anything out of the press. I was warming up for the parallel event. And I just remember being like, okay, here we go. Like we're warming up, and I had been off my shoulder for about 2 weeks, and I just flip upside down, and just a centimeter of a descent was just so painful. And yeah, that's when I ended up walking over to one of the athlete contacts there on site and was like, hey, I literally can't do this event. It's the first movement of the event. Like, I might have to withdraw. And then they said that there was no minimum work requirement. So all I have to do is either just show up for the event. And I could do all the things, like whatever I can do, I could perform. And if I can't perform it, I just take a 0, just a complete last place. So I took a last place for a lot of events.
In similar circumstances, I actually tore my rotator cuff like in January. It was basically the same sort of athletic endeavor. I was reaching under a car to get a ball that my son had kicked under.
Oh wow.
I was like, like flicking it with my finger. I was like, I can almost get it. And then I was just like, I was like, I'm not lying down on the ground in rain and shoving my leg in to get the ball out. So I was like, I'll just extend even more. And I was like, oh, that was a bit sore. Got the ball out. And then, for the last like 4 weeks, I've just been there with my flipping TheraBands, just like
It's so
doing all.
boring.
Oh, it's awful, and
No.
it's so bizarre. Like I've been really lucky. Like I've had no injuries really. I think like I like twisted my ankle and stuff like that, but I've had nothing like this, and it's so it messes with your head so much, I think, and it must be to a new level when you like rely on your body for like your income and whatever you like. It's your whole life basically, but like I remember having the TheraBand attached to a door and like so much effort going into just moving it, and it just wasn't moving, and I was like, what is wrong with me? Like this is like the lightest thing I've ever seen, and it just like I was like, and nothing was moving. Flick over to the other hand and I nearly pull the door off the handle like when it moves. Like it must be so bizarre having something that it's like second nature to you, like handstand push-ups, absolutely no problem, like snatching, no problem, and then just to be like, oh, I literally can't even move like a millimeter. Like that must mess with your head anyway, but it must have been even worse than being at an event where you're expected to perform and people are looking at you and, you know, like shouting your name, or there's people saying like, geez, Fee sucks this week or whatever, whereas like, you know, and they don't know.
Yeah, that's so true. And the thing is, like, it's not my first injury. Like, I've been injured doing things, you know, many times. It just happened to be during a time that I couldn't hide it, right? Like, and that's just the reality. Like, it sucks so bad, but every athlete listening in, like, we know that, honestly, unfortunately, like, it's kind of part of the gig. Like, it's just something that when it happens, it's like, it's not, it sucks so bad, and sometimes it does feel like it's the end of the world, but at the same time, you're like, well, that's just kind of part of the job. And even though we don't want it, we're not trying to, like, if anything, we're doing everything that we possibly can not to, but when you're training and you're hitting, you know, you're in your programming, you're meant to hit a heavy lift, like you're going for it, or you're pushing some limits because you got to be ready to do it on a live stage. Those things happen. What was frustrating though, it's not my first experience being injured. That I could deal with and I know how to navigate. It was my first time being injured and publicly having to like feel that, you know, maybe, I don't know if embarrassment is the right word, or just like that vulnerability, I think is maybe a better word for it.
Yeah.
And it was my first time truly having to be vulnerable, look to my left and right, my competitors are crushing it, and to like have to walk off the stage when I know my capacity is there, when I know I've, in other stages in competition, I've been able to prove myself a little bit more, a little bit better as an athlete. I know what I'm capable of. And to just like have to put it aside and just be like, this is just where I'm at. And for other people to maybe not know exactly what I'm going through, but they could like, I think at this point they know like something's wrong. That was so hard. Probably the most crying I've ever done on public camera and in front of people.
Yeah, it's the same. Like I think of, I mean, like, you know, every comeback needs a failure or whatever, but like you think like Lucy Campbell was similar at the games that year when she was just like not able to clean the bar or squat the bar, and everyone else just passing her out, and she had just won an event and it was just shit. And I think like, yeah, it's people go through like mental growth and stuff, but doing it on a public, literally on a stage, it's like so much worse than just like writing in your diary at night and like feeling better the next morning, like where you're like, cool, yeah, so this is the thing that everybody expects me to just breeze through and I can't even do it, and I'm watching people who I am better than like pass me out, and I just have to walk off the floor and take my medicine, and it's just there's no escape either, because it's like you're in the venue and then you're in the hotel and then you're coming back the next day, and then you know it's just endless. Like,
and you have to do it for 2 more days, and just like knowing that it's going to keep happening. And then honestly, it gave me truly the best. It's moments like that of course it could be worse, and of course I could be way more injured and not have the ability to do anything, or so I really try to like own that and know that like truly things could be a lot worse. but also it gives you the perspective of like even just little things like that, how appreciative I am of having the ability to do, just even compete, right? There's a lot of times you have this performance anxiety, or like you're getting ready for an event, you're like, man, I really don't want to hurt, that's kind of scary, hitting that, but then I'm like, I can't even compete, and I would love nothing more than to hurt and be uncomfortable alongside my competitors and grind it out, and just, all those emotions kind of come in waves. But the biggest thing that I took away truly from that competition, and just having the ability to feel the emotions that came with it, is you definitely don't have to feel 100% to still give your 100%. Even if it's just emotionally, you're giving 100% when you physically you can't. And I think that was just a good platform and just a good opportunity to honestly dive in and step into that fire. And I didn't perform. I definitely got last place. I got last place, and I felt the most growth and love after that weekend. So I'm so happy I didn't withdraw.
Was it difficult? Like, I mean, even after the weekend is over, you still don't know. Like, you're still thinking, do I need like surgery? Is there something big wrong? Is it just a tear? Like, so is it difficult even not having that sort of, like, you don't even have any closure really afterwards? You're still just like, all right, that sucked, and now I just have to wait.
Yeah. I mean, I knew I was going to take care of it after. The reason that I didn't get the imaging before was more mentally. I just didn't want to put it in my head going into a competition where like things are actually torn, things are like, it was more like, okay, I know what I need to do to not make it worse. I know that like just by working with physical therapists and my chiropractor, their diagnosis without the imaging, the potential of it being torn was like probably very, very highly likely. But the fact that I was still able to do a lot of other things, like hanging from a bar I was able to do, pull-ups I'm able to do, strict, kipping, butterfly, like all of it. There was still so much that I was able to do. So that gave me just peace of mind, being like, okay, it's surgery. I probably won't need surgery considering that I could do so many more things. I could clean. Like cleaning didn't feel the best. Like pulling the bar doesn't feel amazing, but it's not like excruciatingly painful. So they kind of gave me hope. I have an entire team of like people that I'm resorting to, so I'm not like blindly going into this. I work with 2 physical therapists. I have a chiropractor, Dr. Lee, Dr. Nicole Torres, Matt's sister, Dr. Lauren Schrute here in Jackson. Like I was working,
whole medical squad,
literally working with them pretty diligently, and now I'm just truly focusing on rehab. So the only thing that I didn't do was the imaging, and I got it done after WFP.
Where do you draw the line though? Like, so, because obviously, like you say, you guys are so used to like pushing yourself and finding what your limit is and going as close as you can and maybe past it when it matters or whatever. But like, where do you draw the line between, oh wow, this really hurts, like this is a lot of, I'm right at my threshold, versus like, oh shit, no, that's actually properly sore, like that's a different pain. That's not a like, oh, this is hard pain, that's a I need to stop pain. Like how do you recognize when it's the wrong one, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the way that I recognize when it's, and it's time to kind of step away for the time being, like say like the second event, I didn't even bother doing or trying to stand there and do a rep because I knew that kind of pain was injury pain. And it's such a hard, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It just feels like the kind of pain that like my shoulder is about to blow out of its socket
like
if I keep
stopping your
going.
tracks almost.
Versus just being like, oh, it's a little uncomfortable, dull, achy. It wasn't an aching pain. It was like sharp knives pain. And this will be the reason that I probably get surgery if I keep pushing this limit. But say, for example, I was also able to do, I was able to do the devil's press, because actually pulling from the ground doesn't hurt. It's the shoulder in a deficit, right? But like that range is a lot less aggressive than like this, right? So just the angle, okay, maybe it's not super painful. It's a little bit more dull and uncomfortable, but I don't feel like I'm gonna injure myself more. If anything, I'm probably just gonna stay the same. and it's kind of making those decisions along the way. But for me, ultimately, like I'll keep going in a competition if whatever I'm dealing with won't get worse. And the good thing is that I finished WFP not necessarily better, but also not like terribly worse. So just a little bit extra sore because I had worked my left shoulder in ways that I hadn't in weeks. Swimming, I literally wasn't swimming for 6 weeks, 8 weeks almost.
And was that fine? Like going
Oh
like the
God,
full?
that was pretty darn terrible.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
You're
That
just
was
doing
just
like doggy
just
paddle.
literally
Everyone else is-
grinding the
Everyone else is
shoulders.
swimming, and you're just doing like a little doggy paddle across.
You just like are just like I just can't stop. Like at that
Yeah.
point, you're like I just cannot stop. Which I knew that was going to happen. Like it's those things that you just have to accept. And as an athlete, you know, but no one else knows. And that's just the reality of it. But I think what just kept me going is like the trust in, okay, I know exactly what I need to do. And the goal of the weekend isn't to win, it's to just stay in it. And last place is still staying in it. And honestly, I just got my pro card. So it was worth staying it.
There you go. Yeah, you could have just gone home and.
I
not
could have.
had
I
it.
really could have. And I'd be lying if I didn't say, like, I didn't turn to my husband and was like, I think this is it. I think I'm going to have to withdraw. And we talked, we went back and forth, and then we chose not to. And that the opportunity to still stay in the competition was there.
Was there? How long were you in last for? I'm just thinking, was there a point where you were looking at the leaderboard being like, oh man, if that girl messes up this next workout, I could, in theory, I could finish it.
No, I didn't look at the leaderboard once. I actually don't even know the standings. I just know that Laura won, Amy got second, and Emma got third. And that's all I know.
Was it
That's
last?
all I know.
I'm trying to think, was it the most recent Rogue or maybe the year before where Emma Tall withdrew? And I remember for a while it was like, wow, there's actually 3 girls that might not catch her, and she finished after day 1. Like, as in, she withdrew after day 1, and it was like she
Wow.
had done so well on day
So
1
well.
that they just called her like halfway through the last day or something. They passed her out by like 10 points or something.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So what is the plan then? Just like loads of boring rehab and prehab and that, and then try and keep other stuff as good as you can, basically.
Yeah, so pretty much I've been working with Dr. Nicole Torres. She's a physical therapist in Naples, but she's also Matt's sister.
Okay.
So what's really cool is they have that relationship.
You get mates rates.
Yeah, literally. She's been focusing on writing very specific programming for my shoulder. She does that on top of, seeing patients on site, but virtually she does a lot of the work when it comes to the programming. We check in just about once a week. I send her videos, updates, and the priority is rehabbing the shoulder. So when it comes to all the upper body work, it's actually just shoulder rehab. And then all the other days, I still get to run, bike, machine, squat, that like all the lower body stuff we're working on. Just things that I'm not doing is like heavy cleans or snatches or jerks, obviously. Like most of the barbell work I could still build, keep building a good base. Most of lower body stuff is just about what we're hammering right now, which is exciting. It's actually honestly the things that still need to get worked on. And I came out a couple days ago sharing that I won't be competing in the CrossFit Games season. I thought it was appropriate timing considering that the Open is literally a week now away, just about, or 2 weeks away now. 2 weeks.
And was that decision like, is that like a longevity thing? As in like, okay, yeah, I probably could, like, you probably could do the Open. You probably could finish unless
I will be doing it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but as in like, you probably could do whatever you need to do, even injured, unless like literally 100 deficit handstand push-ups come up, which they won't. But like, you probably could have done enough. You probably could have done enough for quarterfinals. Is it just a case of like, yeah, I could have, but at what cost long term? Like, is it just like give yourself as much possible time to recover so that you have 6 more years, 7 more years, whatever, versus like surgery in next spring, basically?
Yes, I know you hit it spot on. Like, we are thinking, I talked to my coach, Matt Torres, a lot on this, where we're thinking more long term. Like I want to be competing for the next, 4 or 5 years. I mean, my body feels good. Like truly, like this is the only thing that I at the moment is a little bit of a setback. But outside of that, like every single year, I just feel like I've been able to showcase a healthier, stronger, more capable version of myself as I age. Because my training age actually isn't all that much compared to some of the other girls, and that's what excites me. Where okay, maybe I can take a little bit of this time to take a step back, but I'm still going to be participating in the Open. Still need to sign up, which I'm going to. I always sign up the week before the Open, but I will be
You and
participating.
40% of everyone that does
Yeah.
it for some reason.
But I will be participating in the Open, and if there's, if handstand push-ups show up, or like thrusters at a weight that at the moment I can't do, things like that, like I'll either scale them back or do them super slow, or maybe just get a rep or two so I have a score in there. Whatever that case is, I'll be participating, and we're just going to take it kind of 1 week at a time. And I don't even know the number that get into quarterfinals, but I think I could perform the Open at 50% capacity and still get into quarterfinals. And
Yeah.
it'll kind of be the same case. Like I'll be participating in the things that I could do healthy, but I won't be doing anything that's going to be detrimental to my progress. And that's kind of where I'll make certain decisions.
Is it difficult to detract, like to step back from that, as in to say, so just say hypothetically, like you register for the Open, you do the Open. So you've said like, I'm not doing the game season, right? So
Yeah.
like an important point to remember with this hypothetical. So you go do the Open, and like you're kind of going through the motions and you're enjoying it and the affiliate and all that kind of stuff, and it's great, etc., etc. And then you're like, oh wow, God, I did really well there. That was great. There was no pressing, like that's super. And then like quarterfinals workouts start being released, and you're like, huh, no overhead stuff. That's weird. Then like you do quarterfinals and you do really well, and then it's like, wow, I've literally made the cut for whatever semifinal I want to do here. Like, is it going to be difficult to detract from that, or to step back from that and say like, no, like I literally said I wasn't going to do it, so I can't. Like if all the cards fall, no,
not at all. I came out saying that I'm at this moment in time. The reality is, if I needed to fight for my games bid, I can't do it.
Yeah.
Right. But in 3 months, 4 months, like if by the grace of God, he is just like,
God hates
you know
those
what?
things.
You are healed, but he loves them. So maybe he's just like, you know what? I will give them to you. No, honestly, if by whenever the online semifinal, I actually declined all of my semifinal invitations. I'm not doing. I was originally going to do Wadapalooza, completely set back on that. I was originally going to do Mayhem. I declined that. Like originally accepted it, then had the conversation with my team, then declined. I declined Syndicate. I'm not doing Del Mar. Like there were a lot of invitations that I'm so grateful to have gotten. But in that moment, I'm like, you know what? I can't accept something that I'm not ready. I'm not confident that I'll be ready. Like no one actually knows. Like I don't even know if I'll be ready to do a handstand push-up in a couple months. I could do all the things, but if I'm not ready to safely do things, where by the time the games comes around, I'm able to truly be the athlete that I need to be at that time. But if I'm healthy, and if come the time where I'm like, hey, I've qualified for online semifinals, and I'm able to do it healthy, and I'm able to do it in a way that isn't detrimental to my shoulder, and maybe I'm already 100%, I'm going to do the games if I'm, healthy. I'm literally, no part of me is going to be like, well, I said that I wasn't, and now I'm like, no, it's my job. I want to, like, this is what I do. My job is to compete.
That's all I wanted to hear, to be honest.
And then I'll do WFP.
When those invites, like knowing the way that happens, the invites come, they don't all come. It's not like you open your inbox one day and it's like an email from Rich, an email from JR, an email, they're not all just sitting waiting for you. So you get, like, say, the Mayhem one and you accept it, and then you're like, oh, guys, maybe whatever you decide. Then you're like, oh, sorry, Rich Jr., I'm out. But then, like 2 weeks later, you probably get one, and you're like, oh man, go through this whole emotional crap again. And then like 2 weeks later, you get another one. You're like, oh my God, this is like just really getting annoying now. Of this is like, was your conviction in your original logic able to just ride through all of that kind of potential upset, like repeated upset?
Yeah, like one thing, it isn't annoying at all. Like if anything, I get so excited when I get invited, when people want me on their stage and people want me on their roster. Like honestly, it almost would make me feel worse if organizers just didn't invite me because they know. I want nothing more than to still get invited to those big stages or earn my way there and qualify for them. A couple weeks ago, if you were to ask me this question, I feel like I would be different emotionally. Like 5 weeks ago, I was crying, I was annoyed, I was frustrated with myself. Maybe I could have done things to prevent.
And had you decided at that stage? Like,
yes,
no, okay.
I'm well past that.
But as in, when you were upset, like the fight, when you were upset, then was that post deciding, okay, no, I can't, I'm going to just turn down the invites and then we'll just get right? Or were you still in turmoil trying to decide what to do? Still
in turmoil, like still kind of back and forth. Like I remember getting the invite for Mayhem Classic and I was texting some of the people directly involved in the Mayhem Classic. And
is there going to be any pressing overhead?
No, I wasn't asking that. I was actually asking, like, did you guys send me an invite? Because I didn't get it in my inbox. And they're like, no, we sent it to you. And I was so hyped on like getting that invitation, and I got it and I immediately accepted it. I was like, yes, by April I should be ready to go. And then I text Matt and I'm like, I accepted Mayhem, like we're going. And he's like, what? You did what? He's like, we just talked about our plan and now you're making decisions that are kind of, because what's hard is, April seemingly, like to most people, it seems still so far away. But you guys that watch Mayhem, like Mayhem is, all these competitions are no joke, but like we want to show up. Next time I compete, I want to show up not just fresh out of rehab. I want to show up prepared. And maybe come April, I'll be feeling even better. I'll be able to do more things. But now the focus is to train and prepare and strengthen, not just kind of get through the skin of my teeth. Yeah. And that's the difference between like accepting it and just getting by versus accepting an invitation and accepting it with, wanting to fight for a bid. And ultimately that's what we want. Like, I want to show up the next competition healthy. I don't want to participate. I don't want to just be there and go through the motions of the things that I still can't do or don't feel my fittest at. So that's what these next months are dedicated to. It's dedicated to rehab, strengthening, rebuilding, and not just doing things halfway. That's why I declined.
I can't remember. I'm trying to think who I was talking to. I know it was a guy, but I just can't remember who. But we were talking about injuries in CrossFit and how CrossFit is kind of, the sport is kind of weird about being injured or about like having anything wrong or whatever. Like I was kind of thinking of when you compare it to other sports. So like say, football or soccer or whatever, a manager will often not share that there's an injury to a player because it affects the team's tactics, the other team's tactics, and like it can change the way the game is played if you give that information too early. But like with CrossFit, it's like your performance as an injured athlete doesn't really give an advantage. Like it doesn't give like Lucy Campbell an advantage if she knows you're injured before an event. Do you know what I mean? But it still is, it holds the same level of secrecy around injury. Like you'll often see competitions are over and then athletes will put up saying like, oh, I was injured, or like I had food poisoning for 5 days, or oh, I was whatever, like after the fact. I always just think it's unusual that like, I think Yellow Hosted did that Crucible thing at the weekend and he was like, yeah, I've been really sick since like in the middle of the competition. He's like, I've had food poisoning for like 12 hours. I feel terrible. And that was like a rare occurrence of someone just in the middle of an event saying like, yeah, I'm screwed. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Why do you think it is like that? Why do you think that there's that reluctance to share or like, I mean, you kind of said it yourself at the start that it was, you were publicly having an injury that everybody, and you had to be vulnerable to do it. Like, and it's an unusual spot to be in where you're talking about an injury as it's happening, as opposed to kind of whispers about like, oh, I heard she has a bad back. And, you know, that kind of stuff is what usually happens.
Yeah, that's such a good question. Because also me, like I didn't publicly share that I was dealing with an injury before WFP. I just kind of showed up, and then people were like, that's a little off. And then after, I was like, okay, I need to explain myself. You know, I think my sponsors deserve it. You know, people that follow me and support me deserve it. And my performance definitely wasn't the reflection of like who I am. But I think I can't speak for everyone, so I'm not sure why other people do it. But I did it for a couple of reasons. I didn't share I was injured before WFP just because I was still truly hoping and giving it time, because I've personally have had many other experiences where I have been injured before a huge competition, and the day of competition you would have never known. And I actually walk off and do things as if, you know, I was never injured in the first place. A good example of that was the CrossFit Games. I actually strained my calf pretty darn bad, and to the point that I just could not run. And I thought I was going to have to run or walk 6 miles, you know. And the Monday before competing, so the week of the CrossFit Games, we started Friday. That Monday, the Monday previous, I ended up going to the park with Dallin and Jason. And as they were taking their warm-up laps, I walked 200 meters, and then I sat down and I was like, I can't walk. Like, I cannot walk. And I'm such a woman of faith. Like, faith is everything that I lean on. And it's one of those things that I love having experiences like that, because in moments like that, I just lean on my faith. And then I prayed and I leaned on the right people and I did everything that I could. And on Friday, I did the entire games weekend. I jumped and I ran and I squatted and I literally did things that I could not do 3 or 4 days out, you know? And it's situations and experiences like that that I brought to going into WFP. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to keep giving it time. You know, a lot of things can still happen. There's still hope. So that's
like,
one,
I guess, like,
that's one big reason.
Not looking at your scan, like not getting a scan done beforehand, because it's like there's a finality to that, same as there's a finality to accepting. Like you're going to shift subconsciously or consciously, you're going to shift your mindset if you're like, I am injured.
Yes.
Before going first, I think that's like, oh, I hope this is okay.
Exactly, and that's another reason why, is because the moment that I share something like that, I know myself better than anyone else, and I know that as soon as I openly share something like that, it makes it more real, and then it gives me that out immediately. Like, maybe I don't have to give my best here because it doesn't matter, because my shoulder, because I you know, my shoulder this, my shoulder that, everyone else is going to go faster. What's it worth? You know, what does it matter if I'm going to get last place anyways? It's that kind of talk that I never want to entertain. And not saying that like those thoughts don't come in and out, but I get to react to them in a way that's a lot more strong and resilient when they do come. So I think having shared that if I had shared that before, I think it would just put me in a weird headspace of just excuses and just honestly being soft. And that's not who I am. I kind of just like pride myself on like never using that as an out on why I didn't perform the way that I wanted to and why I can't still try, right? And so then I kind of had those reasons to why I didn't share it.
This is literally not true. Like when I told everyone someone at Albany was pregnant.
Like when Pedro told
I don't
everyone
remember that at
was...
all. It is like something I would do, but I don't think I actually did do that. But that's pretty funny.
What is he referring to?
I don't know. I'm guessing. I really don't. There's probably a fair chance I did say it on a show, like as a joke, that someone was pregnant, like just as like an explainer for someone saying like, oh, they're not doing very well. I was like, oh yeah, I think they're pregnant, just as a way of like pushing past it. I don't remember it, but it does sound like me. Speaking of strength and sharing and vulnerability and stuff, your video at Hiller last year was like unbelievable.
Wow.
I was thinking about it earlier on today, and I was like you know he's coming out. I mean, I guess probably not that far in advance because he's not a very planny type of fella. So when you know he's coming, and you obviously know that you've had all this trauma and all this stuff happen to you, and the reason you started CrossFit and everything, but it isn't a story that's been shared. So when you know he's coming, are you like, all right, I'm gonna like, this is it, like I'm gonna tell him, I'm just gonna like share my story or whatever, or like as it's coming out of your mouth, are you like, what the hell are you doing? Like, are you like trying to get the words back in, or what's happening?
Actually, so funny because Hiller was supposed to, when he came, the original plan was to film kind of equally, from what I was told, Ty, Dallin, and Fee, and it would have been kind of this series of capturing all of us kind of collectively. Jason was here, I believe, that weekend. So it was supposed to be that. And that's literally all I had in my mind, that it's supposed to be like a brute story, right? And this is so funny. I don't know if you have a faith, share a faith in anything, but I like so wholeheartedly do. And I actually had a dream. So this is so, like the coincidence of this is so wild. So Hiller, the day before he gets here, I forget what day he came, but the day before I had a dream, a very specific dream. And this dream, I was sitting in a classroom and this teacher comes up to me. He's, brown bearded teacher. He's tall. He comes up to my desk and in my dream, he says, you have a very special story to share. And I want you to share it with the class. And my dream ends. And then I wake up. And that was literally my dream.
Do you always remember your dreams?
No, never. Yeah. I'm one that I'll wake up and be like, I had some weird dreams, but I could not tell you what they were. Yeah. I wake up the next day, Hiller comes the next day. And then eventually we're kind of going through some shooting and some filming. And I can't remember if it was the first day or second day, but we're just in my kitchen here, chatting away. Cameras are off. We're just having like deep life conversations. Andrew's, asking me about my past, how I started, why I got into it so aggressively, and what kind of just lit that fire. And naturally, I started to open up a little bit more. Because I think what I say on camera is something along the lines of, I walked into my first CrossFit gym, they did the open, I was super excited. I have, an athletic kind of pass a little bit, and it just is interesting. This is like the things that everyone says. And then I started to open up my past in that way to Hiller, and Andrew listened and just kept asking and just learning about me. And he was like, we should share this if you're comfortable sharing this, because that is Fee. That is who people want to know. And that's just kind of, it happened organically. And I'm like, oh my God, are you like, did I just like share?
Teacher? Are you the teacher with the beard?
He definitely wasn't. Yeah. It was definitely Jesus speaking into me.
They're not, I don't think you can mistake them for each other either, to be honest.
No. It was a very different kind of man in my dream.
That was really cool. He makes you sit down, you record it. He's like, he has this weird, he's a lot of weird stuff, but he has this weird ability to force kind of introspection. Like it's like, I equate it to, this isn't an insult, but I equate it to like just like talking at a dog. Do you know what I mean? That the dog is just kind of looking at you, and then you interpret the looks to mean something, so you keep going. Like, so you'll say something else. Do you know what I mean? Or like a child or something, where he just kind of says like, "Why?" And then you're like, "Well," you kind of dive into it a bit deeper, and then he just goes, "Yeah, but why?" And then you just keep going, and then before you know it, you're like, knee deep in tissues and like crying because he made you remember something terrible or whatever. But like, he does have this. Like, I kind of think, I humbly think of myself as good at getting people to open up and like draw people out and stuff, but he does it in a completely different way that is, it's so unobvious and so like just genuine sort of like tism curiosity that he has, and he doesn't even understand, I think, that the questions he's asking are probably inappropriate, but he just keeps going. He's just like, why? And then he just gets gold.
Yeah.
But like,
No, he knows when though. And I think that's what makes Andrew such a great storyteller. Like when he does go and share other athlete stories or people's stories, he just knows. And I think just like the root of it is he knows how to have a conversation with people. Where a lot of times I've talked to interviewers and they're just asking superficial questions.
Yeah.
And he just knows how to kind of get to your heart. And I think that's what made that moment so special for me too.
Yeah, he's cool. You're talking about it, whatever, I'm assuming it's really like cathartic and emotional and everything else, and it's a big, like, you know, it's obviously a big cloud, and then, you know, you feel, I don't know, I can't even imagine what you feel afterwards, and you're even in the telling of the story and then afterwards, but like he works fast, as in he gets the video out. It's not like you're waiting 6 months, but there still is a period of time where he leaves, you're just sitting in your apartment or whatever, and you're like, oh man, like everyone's going to see that now. That's like, it's one thing me talking to him and talking, the camera's there, and sometimes you even forget it's there. But then it's like, wow, like 1 million people could watch that. And then how did that sit? I know that you say you felt you had an important story to tell, or you felt told you had an important story to tell, but there still is, it's still you that is going to be, you know, either praised or judged or criticized or whatever after the fact.
Yeah, it's it was actually a moment where that was kind of the first time that I've shared like my testimony on, you know, truly my story, but also I shared a lot on my faith and how I've like grown through that, and that at the same time has helped me just handle pasts and traumas and things that will always carry those things with me. Even to this day, I still think about those hard moments and what I've shared. Before sharing that with Andrew, I actually went on a mission trip in Peru through Mayhem Missions. And the reason that I'm bringing it up is because through Mayhem Missions, I think it was like the second day, that I finally built the courage to actually share my testimony. And that was truly the first time that I shared my past with people that I've never met before. And we were just there connecting through CrossFit, but also our faith. And I ended up just building one of my good friends, Jorge Fernandez, we were just chatting, and he like helped me build that confidence to share that publicly. And it is what I shared with Andrew. And I think what helped me share it and just like feel a little bit more at peace with the world seeing it was I got to build that courage before in a place like a CrossFit gym. I connected with people that me sharing it actually impacted and helped so many other women and men and daughters. Oh, get emotional talking about it. And I think that's what truly helped me. And knowing that, you know what, it's not mine anymore. It's a story that could help other people. And it would be almost selfish of me to think, you know, I have to hold this in, or I shouldn't share it because of my own personal reasons, where an experience like that could help save someone. It could help someone get out of, you know, rock bottom and give someone hope. And after sharing it with Hiller, like the more that I shared it, the more courage I had. So I knew it was coming out. I knew a lot of people would see it. Not once was I scared of like, you know, the negative. I was just a little anxious on the response, but at no point was I like, maybe I'm going to reach out to him to retract it. Like I knew I wanted to share it. And I think I also had the confidence in Andrew that he would share it in the best way.
Yeah, he wasn't going to throw like a blooper into the middle of it or something, or
no, not at all. I have so much trust in Andrew.
Yeah.
We have such a good friendship that if I didn't trust him at all, if I had even like an ounce of mistrust, I probably would have felt differently. But yeah, the response that I got, though, it was like, I can't even put it to words. I just was flooded with incredible responses, but people sharing their own stories with me, which was just, you know, emotional feel over here, just literally feeling it all. And that's what made me be like, you know what, doing this whole CrossFit thing, it's awesome. I'm so grateful for the ability to compete at a high level. But man, the vehicle that it's become to share, I guess, a more purposeful side of me, that's been so special. And I think that's why when I compete, I really do genuinely feel like I compete with just a different flow, a different energy, a different purpose, of course. And that's why I want to always keep coming back.
But I'll come back to that in a minute. But it's interesting, like, you're an incredible person because, like, have you ever seen those? Have you ever seen those like press statements where someone comes out and like gives information and say no further questions at this time and just leaves? So like,
Yeah.
That's what I am when I have like my dad had some health stuff recently. I sent like a message into my my family's WhatsApp group or whatever, like with my in-laws. And I was just like, hey, bad news about dad, blah, blah. And I was at the end of the message, I just said, I have no more information to share. Because I was like, I'm not getting
I don't want to deal with it anymore.
A big back and like I feel shit and I don't want to just be talking to people for 2 hours. Like, so I was like, here's all the information I have. I have no more information to share at this time. And then I just was like, in my head, I was like, please everyone just respond with emojis and like nothing
just
else.
Like this.
Just, like if anybody calls me, I'm going to throw my phone out the window. Like, so yeah, the fact that you're so willing to, because you must have been just bombarded with messages.
They were beautiful.
Even just messages of people being like, wow, this is crazy, or like, wow, this is such a good story, or you're amazing, or whatever. But then drilling down into the like, I'm sure there was ones, because there always is, of like, you gave me the confidence to share my story. You gave me the whatever. Like now I feel like I can whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, it must have just been really, really intense. Like whatever month, or it's probably still messages now.
Oh, I actually still go back to like read messages, and I'm sure there've been ones that I've missed, which I hate. I'm like, anyone that knows me knows that I'm terrible at messaging back. I just lose track.
That's a CrossFit athlete thing from my side.
No. I mean, that's just a person thing. Like, I think like some people are type A and some people are type B, and I'm just about as type B as it gets sometimes, where I'm just go with the flow. Like, I could be forgetful, but I'm sometimes too lax. And but yeah, the messages have just been like, those are the things that, man, like when I think about, like, there's gonna come a season where I'm gonna be like, hey, this is my last season. This is, I am done competing. I'm wrapping it up. And there's gonna come a point where that happens, and it's gonna be the most amazing thing, reflecting on my career and knowing that like the highest points or like performances won't be like the biggest memories in my mind. Like the biggest things that have made my career and will make my career so special are going to be moments like that. The connections with the people, the in-between moments, right? The behind the scenes moments, the vulnerability moments, the me walking off WFP and hearing the crowd just like roar and share love. Like, it won't be that I finished well in an event. Like, it just won't. And that's what, in moments like that, is what I reflect on and I think about a lot. And that's what makes, I think, my career so special. It's things like that, and the fact that I get to still compete and do it, but then share moments that give me joy and fill me with purpose is just, I can't stop talking about it. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, I think, I actually think it's inside, but someone at Mayhem sent me like a personalized Bible like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I haven't cracked it open yet.
Oh.
But yeah, it's, yeah, Mayhem is cool in that regard. Is that like, so the because like Dallin is obviously like, he's kind of, I guess, like refound his faith, I suppose, or a different faith or whatever. And then Jason is like starting to talk a bit more about his. James is obviously very like, he's a bit of an evangelist almost when it comes to like, he's really eager to talk about it. Is that a coincidence, do you think, that you guys all ended up at Brute, or?
Wow. Well, if you're speaking on, I don't think it's a coincidence at all, but it's also not a coincidence that all of us share a lot of the same values, the same faith. I think, the people that don't share those values eventually make their way out. And What's really cool is, being able to do a sport that is very hard, that we love, but, it comes with lots of emotions, lots of highs and lows, and we're all individual competitors at the end of the day when we compete. But that's truly been like the glue in all this, is just kind of siding and staying close to those people that, outside of competition, we get to lean on each other through our faith. Dallin and his wife continue to grow in their Christian faith. I do too. Like, I've been, I grew up Catholic my whole entire life with my mom, and, that Catholic background of like, there's a lot of things that you need to check off the list, going to church, but also a lot of like, it almost feels like obligations.
Oh, you're basically told you're a piece of shit from the moment you're born, and that you need to continue.
Yes, yeah.
Like, hey, one guy ate an apple, and forever you're a terrible person. Like, that's how
that. But like,
leads off.
I guess I never learned how to have a relationship with Christ. Because I was so focused on like just doing the things.
It's just call and response. It's so like rote that it's like there's just nothing. You're just like blah 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 blah. It's just repetitive. Yeah.
So I'm still so new. Like I feel like I don't know anything, even though I'm like diving into the word more than ever before. But it's so cool. Like I still have a newfound faith like in Christ, and what that means to me is like a deeper relationship with the Lord. And I think it's not a coincidence either that at the same time I've found the most joy in myself. This past year, I've had the best and biggest performances of my own career in ways that have felt so much more spiritual than just physical. And there have been so many, honestly, like miracles that have happened that I wish I could just share and scream to the world, that no one would believe me, that have happened, but that have happened, that I could just be like, oh my gosh, like this is truly a moment of like a gift from the Lord. And it's all been happening in the last year. And now I get to like experience hard moments, but with a better perspective, with a deeper faith and trust. And I think old me, if I would be going through this situation and having to step away from a season that all my career is what I work towards, I don't think I'd be as resilient at all. I think I'd be definitely more bitter and angry and almost kind of victim mentality mindset. And I just know how to deal with things and handle things now a lot better because of that faith. And because I share a lot of friends that share that faith, and like I get to lean on them too.
Your dad featured a lot in the Hiller video, and like you kind of talked about him a lot. How do you just call him and say like, oh hey, I just made a video and it's going to be a bit of a shock, or are you like, hey, I need to like sit down with you and explain a story because whatever, or do you just like send him a link? Like how do you handle that?
You know what? I don't think my dad's watched the video.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't even like reach out to my dad and I'm like, hey dad, like here's a story that I would love for you to hear.
Did he not know at all? Like,
I don't think so.
And do you not feel like compelled to like?
No, I actually haven't sent him that video. I don't think he's watched it
like that. I don't think you should tell him like that.
But like it's been publicly shared on my Instagram and like everything on my Instagram is connected to my Facebook.
Is he like a Luddite? Is he like not social media based? Is he like?
He's on social media. I wonder if he's seen it. So my relationship with my dad is not as like close that I have with like my mom, where I feel like I get to just run to my mom for anything. The relationship with my dad is just very like, it's a lot more strict. And I think growing up, like, it was always about
really came across in the video as well. Like, because I was watching it being like, right, okay, I'm getting an insight into the back and forth. Yeah.
Conversations with my dad, we could, I don't connect with my dad as much like on a deeper level emotionally, because emotionally, like that was my mom. And then with my dad, it was good grades. It was violin, it was concerts, it was, like just very like, when's your next exam? What did you get? did you pay your loan? Did you change the car oils? Like, did you check your, like, did you check your windshield wiper? Like, all the things, which I know it sounds terrible, but that's my dad. And like, it's always kind of been like that. And even like, he comes to every single one of my competitions. He comes to every single one. He flew to Denmark. He was there. You saw him. He's there. And even after the first day, he'll be like, so what place are you in? I'm
Are you
like,
not
Dad.
afraid? Are you not like terrified that someone will just say like in passing, will be like, "Oh, hey, you're Fee's dad," and just like say, "That's crazy, that story," and he's like, "What story?" Like, are you not afraid? You're not worried that it might come out that way?
I guess I'm not afraid. Like, I'm not afraid of how, like, if he eventually does watch it, because I guess I'm not. Yeah, I guess I'll have to deal with it when it does happen.
It's funny as well.
But
Not funny.
it's
It's not
just-
funny at
it's-
all. But it's like,
maybe this is a good conversation to maybe push me towards that.
but it's
But
even
I
like,
haven't.
do you so in the video you talk a lot about like food and like your relationship with food and controlling like your weight and stuff like that, like, and which is for all intents and purposes is like an eating disorder essentially, which was like a prolonged like period. And I think there's a lot of people have a misconception about stuff like that, where it's like, I want to be skinny, so I'm not going to eat or whatever. But for a good cohort of people, it's about like control. And it's like, well, I can't control A, B, or C, but I can control what I eat, and I can control when I eat, and I can control what I weigh, and I can control, like that kind of stuff. And it's like it tends to, it can often manifest itself in like high performing, or people striving for high performance, or people being around people who want them to strive for high performance. And I'm kind of curious, like, do you think that played a part in it? Like, that your dad's like desire for you to do well, and the pressure of like exams, music, was it badminton, or you played I can't remember what sport it was that you played some kind of sport.
Well, I only played volleyball for a couple years, but then I was pulled out because of violin. So
yeah, do you think
at the time,
did that play a part, like that, like you had control, like that was everything else was like pressure and practice and striving for whatever, but it was like, well, I can eat or not eat, or I can eat less, or I can eat more. Do you think is that part of it?
I could see as like that having a little bit of, like, now that I think about it, absolutely. I mean, at the time I was 14, 15, 16 years old, like just like through those years. I'm also kind of the big sister. Like, I don't have like an older sister to look up to. I didn't have friends that were in a space where they could give me good advice, and they've gone through it and they know how to do it better. Like, and even like during those years, I mean, that was during like, that was 2004, like, or that was what, 2009, 10, 11, like during those years, skinny was, and skinny continues. Yeah, skinny was in. And I just feel like maybe those were like years where I wanted to control at least a little bit. And also body image was down. I mean, it's funny, like I played volleyball, I represented my high school. Like, I was just, it was just high school level. But even in sports and high school sports, not once were we talked about on how to treat your bodies outside of, training and practice, and how to eat like an athlete, and like what food actually is, and the relationship side of food as an athlete. Never. It was always like, I remember I would run like 5 to 7 miles before volleyball practice, so that I would feel better about myself eating dinner later.
Yeah.
Like, I would count when MyFitnessPal didn't exist and iPhones just about weren't a thing, at least not in my house. Like, I still had a flip phone. And so I would track like how many carrots I ate out of the bag, how many like handfuls of spinach, how many granola bars, like, and I literally wrote it in pencil paper, and I would just be like, as long as I'm at like 800, like then I'm good. Like if I'm under 800, I'm good. If I'm over 800, I ate too much. And that was for years. That was for years. And just that control. And I think during those years, like I also like, eventually I was pulled out of volleyball because like violin was on the weekends. I couldn't do both, concerts, like all of it. And there was just that. And yeah, so I think like, and then CrossFit came along. And eventually, you know, I quit the violin. I hated the violin. It took so much of the things that I wanted to do, and it had nothing to do with the violin, right? But in my mind, I was like, all these years that I just wanted to be an athlete and I wanted to just have fun and I just want to be a kid. And so CrossFit came along, and it was finally like that out of like, oh, I'm doing it because I want to.
Yeah.
And I get to do it because it gets to put me in a, like, you know, I get to now do things that make me feel strong and good. And I could build myself in a way where I can now even look strong, where like I never want a guy to look at me and think that I could hurt her and things like that. And eventually that I just went all in. And that's where I started to really kind of feel a lot more free and find much better people in my space.
It's crazy as well. Like, you know, when you look at the competition floor, like there are people that stand out, especially on the female side, but like you are absolutely yoked. Like your back and shoulders and arms and everything, it's nuts. But
thank you.
there was a difference. I can't remember. I think I said it to Cooper. Maybe it was during or after Mayhem last year, maybe. That there was just like a shift. There just seemed like, from the outside looking in, there seemed to have been a mentality shift that was visible with you, even just in like posture, like the way that you carried yourself and the way that you approached things. Like there's little like tiny little nuance that you notice when you like watch people go onto the floor, where you're like, oh, they always look like that. Like that's how, you know, they psych themselves up or whatever. Or you're like, oh, they're carrying themselves a bit differently. There's something wrong. Or like there's been like, they're not feeling confident or whatever. But like with you, it was the opposite, where I'm 99% sure it was Mayhem. And like you did really well at Mayhem, and it was kind of surprised a lot of people. Like a lot of people were like, where the hell does Fee come from? Like this is like crazy. But just the way that you just seem to be operating on a different plane to the previous competitions. Because I suppose you were always sort of, you know, almost made it, like just made, like skin of your teeth made it, you know, like the last one in and that kind of stuff. Like there was all like, that was your sort of games history, was like, you know, just getting in or just missing out or whatever. And then I think at Mayhem, it was just like, well, who the hell is this? Like it was like a different version of you there than in previous years. Like what changed? Like what happened that led to such a big shift?
I totally feel like I was like a totally different person that weekend specifically. I didn't expect to do that like as well as I did. I didn't expect to win by any means. The craziest change I would say was, I had shared, I just talked about it a little bit, but like truly I have a newfound faith in the Lord and my faith in Christ within those few months. You know, from the time that, you know, we started the season in February to March, and then Mayhem came in April. Like I truly started to dive in and explore my relationship with Christ beginning that year. And I went into Mayhem truly with this excitement and just fired up for my faith. This sounds so crazy. I know it sounds so crazy, but I went to Mayhem literally. All I wanted to do at Mayhem was, of course, to show my best and like showcase my best. But I only wanted to do it if at the same time it showcased the strength of the Lord. And I'll say this, I actually prayed before every single event. One of my friends, she's my girl, Rebecca Devine. She prayed for me in the corrals in the warm-up area before every single event, something I've never done that before. Usually before every event, you are focused on your strategy, you're focused on your vision, you're visualizing the floor, what you're doing, like all the ins and outs of what's about to go down. And your focus is on the thing. And my only focus was literally on prayer. and reflecting the Lord and just finding strength the moment that I start to feel pain or doubt. And that was the one thing that I changed that I've never done before. I walked into Mayhem that weekend with not wanting to win, but wanting to literally give every victory, every high, every low to the Lord. Praying before every event. There were about, how many events were there? Like 5, 6?
Yeah, 5, 6, yeah.
And it is not a coincidence that I felt a totally different version of me, and that I did things that I've never done before. I felt so capable. I was able to endure levels of pain that I've actually never done in training, to be honest. I know the old saying where it's like, you never rise to the occasion, you stoop to the level of your training. And I'll be honest, I did things I've never done in training. I've saw RPMs I've never seen in training, like experiences that I've just never tapped into until then. And that is the only thing that I truly changed. The training was still hard. The preparation, we did well, but I've also been training hard and preparing well and doing the things the last years, you know? I've been eating well. I've been doing all those things that everyone is also doing. So for me, that's truly the only thing that changed, was a deeper relationship with Christ. And now I get to use that into my performances. Completely changed how I perform. And, you know, you have a weekend like that and you're like, can that happen every single weekend? Because that was amazing.
Yeah.
And of course it doesn't. But it was such a testament to, I think, not just my team and the work that we've been putting in, but like spiritually and emotionally what's been happening in my heart. And if I could reflect that, then that's just the biggest joy as an athlete.
Yeah, I think like I don't think you were like meek before, but like you were, the eye wouldn't necessarily be drawn to you coming onto the floor, but at Mayhem, it was like you had just kicked the doors open walking in. You know, it was like there was a different just kind of aura like going on the floor, which is like really palpable.
Thank you.
I want to ask you as well. So another of Hiller's subjects, I guess. Brittany Weiss did a video with him, whatever, like a few months ago. And in it, he asked her about Danielle, and it obviously brought up, it caused like ripples online after the fact. No one likes being talked about when they're not there, I guess. But you commented, or you replied to a comment or something that kind of caught my eye. Where you were like, I can't remember the exact word. It was something like "Welcome to the club," or something along those lines. Twins, yeah.
Said twins.
What happened there? Like, as in, what happened? Because like it seems, it just seems we've spoken for like an hour and 15 minutes now, and I've spoken to you before, like very briefly in person, and I've kind of watched how you hold yourself and how you conduct yourself, and like obviously the Hiller video. It just seems implausible that someone could be like, God, I hate Fee. You know what I mean? It just seems like unlikely that it's just like, it'd be like arguing with a retriever. Like, just be like, yeah, golden retrievers are dickheads. Like it just seems like an unlikely thing to a conclusion to come to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Like, you know what? I said twins. I had this moment of like, should I be like that? But also not true, not untrue. There's, we share similarity in that sense of, have there been, maybe there's been things said on a story. I think it came down to like the story that was posted and Brittany didn't see. I share that similar experience, right? And we know that, and that's just what it is, which is fine. And so I said twins because it was like, sister, I feel you. I share that. Yeah. And, but the reality is that not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to like each other. Not everyone's going to connect with each other's personalities, and that's fine. And that's just what it is. Like, you don't get, I can't be friends with everyone, and not everyone wants to be friends with me or someone else, and that's fine. And like, I think what I always want, like, I do have a people pleaser in me. Like, I do have that personality trait of like, I want to be everybody's friend, and I want everyone to be happy. And if someone needs help, I want to help you, and I want to get you through it. And but yeah, not and maybe other parts of me is just not something that people enjoy, and that's fine. And I think I have confidence in knowing that. So when I know that I need to like, step back or things just aren't working with a friendship or relationship, then I'm very confident in being okay with it, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's sort of like it's similar to me when I hear someone say like, "Oh, I really don't like James." It's like, so you just don't like golden retrievers? Like, it just doesn't make, it's like you're obviously a cat person because it just doesn't make sense.
I will say, like, and this is for I think everyone, like even for me, if I have some kind of like dissonance or like some kind of friction with something or someone, it's usually never about that thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like it's if I'm frustrated with someone or something, my husband and I, if we get into a little thing, a little disagreement, it's usually never that thing. It's usually stemming from something else, something a little bit more personal or deeper. And I think that's just everyone. And I know I go through it all the time. So I don't think it's the golden retriever energy. Yeah.
The obviously like there's been a lot of changes with Brute. Like Matt was like just down the, well, I don't know how close really, but like reasonably close to where you are. Dallin was there. Like there was kind of a hub almost starting up, and then just I guess bit by bit it started to kind of unravel is the wrong word, but just like change and like evolve, and then that led to James moved, Dallin moved, Matt moved. Is obviously the first, I guess, thing that happened was like Danielle left, and then there was a lot of like from the outside looking in, you're kind of watching that happen. My instinct was like, oh man, Brute are screwed. Like that's so much distraction. Like that's so much happening to one group and everybody's watching it happen as well. Like everybody, well, not everybody, but like a lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are looking at it. A lot of people are judging it. And then you guys are in the middle of it. But it seemed to have the opposite effect, where instead of like, I don't know, like shying away from it or like things actually unraveling, you all sort of grew and like just found like, Dallin obviously had the confidence to be like, do you know what? I think I'm going to just go to Utah and it's going to be great or whatever. And James is like, well, I'm just going to go up with it. And it all just seems to have just worked out perfectly for everybody.
Oh my gosh. Maybe outside looking in, people see it as like things are breaking up. But the reality is James went back home because he got married. Like he's a husband. He has obligations as a family man. Like he has a wife, he's building a family, a home. He just bought a home, I believe, or, he's building his future. And it wasn't at all like, hey, I can't be here. It was, hey, my job right now is to also be a husband to my wife, and that's a beautiful thing. And and so he had left because that was just the chapter that now he was stepping into. It had nothing to do with anything negative. Emma Carey was also in the camp, and she stepped away from the sport. She's chasing her dreams in the medical field, and she's studying and she's in school, so like that changed. Or she went to Mayhem, and then eventually that whole thing went down. But still, like just change, good change. And then Dallin and I stayed together as training partners and moved up to Jacksonville. And we had our seasons here. Ty Jenkins came down, Janie Chevry came down, Matt, obviously was here. But the reason that Dal ended up going back home was because now they're stepping into like the next adult thing, which is buying a home, buying land, buying property. They have a future. They've spent 4 years in Florida. So the goal being in Florida was to just gain as much, attention from coach, but also knowledge and experiences together. And Dallin is at a point in his career where he was able to confidently be like, hey, I've done and learned everything that I wanted to do in these seasons. And now I'm taking, that next step. And it was all a good reason to go to Utah. For me, I wanted to stay in Jacksonville versus like just going back to Cleveland, because I'm going to be living in Cleveland for the rest of my life. And I want one more year of just having like this chapter.
Happiness.
Yeah, like this 1 year. Right now it's -degrees in Cleveland, I'll be honest. No, it's just so cool. Like my whole entire life, I've been in Cleveland. The best years just happened to have been these last four with just a new life. Like it's a chapter that I get to live with my husband, and I get just to do my thing in a new space outside of like the bubble of home. And I love it. And I chose to stay here. I'm actually gonna make my way back. I'm not gonna be here forever. And Matt, moved to Nashville because his good group of friends, he has an amazing group over there. His core circle, he's able to kind of navigate his business a little bit better up north. So all that to say, the breaking of Brute, or what it seemingly seems like, it's not at all. It's pure growth. Everyone's heading in the best direction. And we are closer than ever. Like even with distance, we are some of the best group of friends. I mean, Ty's back at home, but he's just as close with me and everyone else. So we're gonna continue to keep that good thing going.
And you have Amy Kringle now as well, and
the European crew, Annual, Amy Kringle. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on some names. But yes, the European.
There's
the
one
European
that hasn't been
group.
announced
Camacho,
yet.
Danny Camacho. What was that?
I think there's one that hasn't been announced yet as well, maybe.
Potentially.
That's still to come.
I like that.
Yeah, it's exciting actually to see.
It's so exciting. Does it really seem though like that Brute was breaking at the time?
No,
just because no one knew exactly why.
Well, I mean, like it's sort of like it's kind of like a Pandora's box. Like everybody's just kind of looking at the outside of the box, and then just being like, I wonder what's going on in there.
Yeah.
And then you're just looking in, thinking like, God, it's a mess. Like it's one of it's like one of two or three things. It's like you
easy
exactly
to
like
speculate.
yeah, it's like exactly what you describe, or it's like holy shit, like Danielle left and just chucked a grenade, like as she was exploded, or it's like
no.
Everything is amazing. Like there's all these different permutations, man. It's like we have like basically nothing else to talk about. So when something that big is happening, everyone's like, well, I guess we'll do 15 live shows about this then. It just becomes the thing.
I'll say this. The last 4 years, every single year we get closer and closer and closer just as a team, as a group of friends. It's cool. They're not just like my teammates or my coach. Like Matt is literally like one of my best friends, and Dallin and Ty and James. Like we're all so close, and every year, despite maybe the highs and lows and the breakups and the changes, we've gotten so close, which is like why I just love finding any opportunity to still be with them, whether it's traveling for a week to see Dallin or Matt. I mean, I still plan on visiting Matt in Nashville very often. So yeah, closer than ever.
This is a great question. So who's having a kid first, and then once one family does, how quickly the rest of them? And my brain immediately went to arguments about whose baby is cuter between James, Jason, and Dallin. Like complaints about like, no, you don't have it, how do I have it? It's just
whose kid is the most athletic?
Like my kid walked, and it's like faked footage of like,
oh my gosh, who knows? I wonder if they'll have a kid before I have a kid.
Yeah.
I know that's something that my husband and I talk about a lot, kind of just like long term, what post CrossFit career looks like. So
I mean, if you're rehabbing a shoulder anyway, like
I will not be having a kid during my rehab period. My sponsors need to have the confidence that I'm staying in the next several years.
I mean, to be fair, you need to rehab fully before you don't want to be.
I can't. I can't have a.
No. As someone who has struggled for the last like 3 weeks, the absolute worst possible movement for me is holding the sleeve of like a sweater or a jumper up while my son or daughter tried to pull their arm out, and you're holding it above their head, and you're like, holy shit, I'm in agony. Can you just pull your arm out faster?
That's please? The same for me for blow drying my hair. Like I could only be here for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm like, please just take. They're like, my elbow's stuck, and I chop your arm off. I don't care. Like, just hurry up and get it out. You need to learn to dress yourself. Speaking of kids, Peter's looking high as AF today. Red eye is strong. Yeah, I've got like an eye infection in each eye from my kids. So kids. So if you're like, you know,
Was he saying that I look high or you look
no,
high?
me.
Oh, I thought you said feet.
No, Peter.
like,
So
well, I
that,
am
yeah. So
sick.
if you're talking about having kids, I mean, just brace yourself for crap like that. Like
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
3.
3. How old are they?
6, 4, and 1.
Oh, you just had them. Literally. Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible.
The
I want to.
6-year-old
I want to be a mom one day. I hope I get to
it-
be a mom one day.
It's if it's anything like being a dad, it's great. I can't
Gotta
tell you it's
gotta be
amazing
great.
being a mom, but it's great being a dad.
I love that.
Yeah, the 6-year-old is like reading, so she just sit down and read her book, and you're like, man, you're easy. And then the 4-year-old is just a terrorist, and then the 1-year-old is incredibly entertaining. So it all works out anyway.
I
They
just
basically
recently
form-
put into Chat GPT what my kids would look like.
Wow. Okay. Your husband's pretty handsome, actually. Yeah, you'd have good kids.
He is a handsome man.
Yeah,
That's
I met him
right.
at, where was that? That was Denmark, I think.
Yes.
Because I don't think I've ever actually seen him. I think I kind of seen him in the background of stuff, like background of videos and that kind of stuff. And you guys, they were kind of pitched up outside that little, I don't know what it is, at the reception of the hotel, the little shop with the little store with like sandwiches and stuff.
Yeah.
And for a few days, I was like, you know, I'd walk past and I was like, who the hell is that guy? Like, he's always
I've
with
seen
Torres and those guys. And I was like, gosh, good looking guy. And then I saw you like being affectionate with him. And I was like, oh, right, okay.
That's my
I'm
man.
guessing it their husband and not just some Danish guy she's been hiding.
Definitely not Danish. I don't think he'd
Yeah.
pass for a Danish man.
No.
He's got the Italian man in him.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy.
I'll have to tell him.
All right. Thank you for coming on and for talking so much and for all that you've done and will continue to do, I'm sure.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with the Open.
My scores will be up there
are you,
somewhere.
are you able to see the comments? Yeah. Like
No.
as in, oh, okay.
I can't see any. People are commenting.
Yeah. I think you should be able to add, if you turn your phone side, I want you to pick a comment you see. So if you turn your phone.
Oh, is there an icon with the comment button
It's
on it?
it says comments, and then if you tap that, they should show up.
Okay, let's see. Comment.
You might have to turn your phone back sideways.
Oh, I can't see it.
Okay. You can see them all, yeah, or just the most recent
Yeah,
one?
I could see them all. I didn't even know there were comments on it.
Okay, so if you scroll up and down on whatever you want, whatever comment you want, if you pick them, I'm going to pay for their open registration, and then if they've already registered, they can just pass it on to someone else.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me pick my favorite comment. Fee's glow is something to admire. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's got to be a top one. Hold on. Fee is so nice to meet in person. Always gives her time to talk with her. Oh, Fee is so nice to meet. I love that. Okay, I love. Have I?
Hi, Fee. Welcome to the live chat.
Oh, the fact I gotta go with Fee is so nice to meet in person. Always gives her
Hobart.
time to talk with her.
Get out of here, Hobart, with your overt compliments. Sorry, what comment? I was distracted by Hobart. What comment did you pick? Sorry.
The Acu Black Dragon. I just really like that one. That was one of the ones.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. So if you DM me, if you can email coffeepodsandwads@gmail.com, or if you DM me if you're on Instagram, and I'll sort you out with a coupon for your open registration. If you've already registered, you can just pass it on to someone else as well. All right, Fee, thank you very much. Thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you so much.
Trying to think when my next show is. Oh, we're doing a J.R. Howell is going to do a week of affiliate programming on Monday live on the show. So he's going to do I'm going to give him a facility and he's going to say, all right, here's what I do. So that'll be entertaining.
I love Jay. Hey, one of my goals is to get back to Crash Crucible and have some fun over there. He is awesome. Love Jay.
You're not allowed to pass on it. Sorry, buddy. So I will give you the registration. You can just pass it on to someone else. That's how it works. All right.
Or can I just pick another comment?
No, that's not how it works. If you start introducing variables,
that's true.
The wheels come off. You need strict structure.
That is true.
Okay. All right. Thanks very much,
Thank you for
Fee.
the chats. Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.